The Adventure of Arnoub and the Mystery of the Sleeping Bear. An exciting forest tale, full of surprises and giggles.
In the heart of whispering woods, where sunlight dappled through the leaves, lived a very special rabbit. This was Arnoub, a fluffy ball of white fur with sparkling eyes. Arnoub's burrow was the cleanest, coziest home in the entire forest. Every morning, he'd wake up, stretch his long ears, and immediately start his routine. Every carrot peel was composted with a cheerful hop. Every fallen leaf swept into a neat pile, and his tiny teacups gleamed so brightly you could see your reflection. A place for everything, and everything in its place. Arnoub would chirp, always with a wide, happy grin. Perched high in the oldest oak tree, its branches reaching like ancient arms, lived Mr. Hakim the owl. His feathers were as wise as his ancient, knowing eyes, always observing the world with a calm, thoughtful gaze. Mr. Hakim always had a positive heart for everyone. Even a cloudy day has a silver lining, usually a very fluffy one, he'd often say, stroking his chin feathers thoughtfully. He believed that a positive mind could solve almost anything, and his quiet wisdom was a comfort to all the forest creatures. Then there was Dowdow the bear. Oh, Dowdow! He was a big, cuddly mountain of fur who loved to eat. His favorite pastime was snacking, and his second favorite was napping. Unfortunately, his third favorite pastime seemed to be not cleaning. His cave was a monument to half-eaten honeypots, discarded berry stems, and a mountain of unwashed picnic blankets that looked suspiciously like a giant, furry laundry monster. Why clean today what you can trip over tomorrow? Dowdow would grumble, usually with a paw full of crumbs. He loved his food, and he loved his naps, and cleaning just seemed to get in the way of both. And finally, the sharpest mind in Whispering Woods belonged to Dr. Fahim the fox. With his bright, intelligent eyes that missed nothing, and a perpetually polished stethoscope dangling around his neck, Dr. Fahim was the go-to expert for every sniffle, sneeze, or case of the wobbly knees. He believed strongly in prevention, often advising on healthy eating and exercise, but was always ready with a clever cure for any illness that dared to show its face. He was known for his calm demeanor and his knack for finding the root cause of any ailment. One sunny morning, Arnoub, feeling particularly cheerful after tidying his burrow, decided to visit Dowdow. He bounced over to Dowdow's cave, a fresh bouquet of vibrant wildflowers in his paw, ready to brighten his friend's day. "Dowdow, dear friend, I brought you some." Arnoub's voice trailed off, his cheerful bounce slowing to a stunned halt. His twitching nose twitched even faster, but not from delight. The entrance to Dowdow's cave looked less like a cozy home and more like a landslide of forgotten snacks and ancient debris. Arnoub's eyes widened. A half-eaten fish looking rather green lay perilously close to a pile of very old, very squishy apples that seemed to be melting into the ground. A sticky, dark puddle shimmered ominously near his paw. He had to tiptoe carefully, lifting his little bunny feet high to avoid stepping on something questionable. "Oh, my whiskers," he whispered to himself, trying to identify a fuzzy, unidentifiable object near his foot. It looked like a forgotten sandwich, that had started to grow its miniature, moldy forest. "Hello? Dowdowb?" Arnoub called, his voice a little shaky as he peered into the gloom. He could just make out a large furry lump under a mountain of blankets. A deep, rumbling groan echoed from deep within the cave. "Go away, Arnoub. I'm not feeling so good," a muffled voice grumbled. It sounded like Dowdowb, but very, very unhappy. Arnoub's concern grew. Dowdowb usually loved visitors, especially if they brought snacks. This was truly unusual. Concerned, Arnoub quickly hopped back, his bouquet of wildflowers now looking a bit droopy. He knew exactly who to talk to. He bounced with surprising speed towards Mr. Hakim's ancient oak tree. "Mr. Hakim," he panted, arriving breathless at the base of the tree. "Dowdow is unwell, and his cave, it's a disaster zone. I think a family of very confused ants just moved into his old sock." Mr. Hakim blinked his wise eyes slowly, taking in Arnoub's frantic report. Mr. Hakim tilted his head, his feathers rustling softly. A cluttered nest often leads to a cloudy mind, and sometimes a cloudy tummy, Arnoub," he hooted thoughtfully. "It sounds like Dowdow needs more than just a positive thought. This calls for a medical mind. Let us consult Dr. Fahim." Arnoub nodded vigorously. They knew Dr. Fahim would know exactly what to do. Together, they made their way through the woods, heading towards Dr. Fahim's clinic tree. Soon, Dr. Fahim, looking very professional with his little spectacles perched on his nose, arrived at Dubdub's cave. He was followed by a worried Arnoub and a calmly observant Mr. Hakim. Dr. Fahim took one look at the entrance, and his intelligent eyes narrowed slightly. He stepped carefully over a rogue banana peel, his stethoscope swinging gently. He didn't say a word, but his expression was one of deep concentration. This was a case that required careful observation. "My dear Dowdow," Dr. Fahim began, his voice calm and reassuring as he finally reached the groaning bear. "What seems to be the trouble?" Dowdow groaned again, shifting uncomfortably under his blankets. "Everything, Dr. Fahim. My head aches, my tummy rumbles like a thunderstorm, and I feel fuzzy, like a dusty old rug." Dr. Fahim took Dowdow's paw, checked his temperature, and listened to his chest with his polished stethoscope. Then he took a deep breath, a very deep breath, and looked around the cave. Yes. Dowdow, have you been living in a compost heap?" he asked, picking up a forgotten sandwich that had, indeed, started to grow its miniature forest. Dowdowb sniffled. "It's just a little messy, Dr. Fahim. Adds character," he mumbled, trying to sound convincing. "Character, perhaps," Dr. Fahim said, holding up the fuzzy sandwich. "But also germs, and dust, and tripping hazards. Dowdowb, your illness isn't from a bad berry or a chilly breeze. It's from the mess. All this clutter is making you feel unwell." Arnoub gasped. "I knew it. Cleanliness is next to godliness and healthiness." Mr. Hakim nodded sagely. "Indeed, a clear space, a clear mind, a clear body." Dowdowb looked horrified. "You mean I have to clean?" he wailed. "Precisely," Dr. Fahim declared. "My prescription is simple: a thorough cleaning of this cave, followed by fresh air and a healthy, organized diet." And so began the great cave cleanup. It was a daunting task, even for three determined friends. Arnoub, with his boundless energy, immediately started organizing the food items, separating the fresh from the very, very old. Mr. Hakim with his keen eyesight, spotted hidden dust bunnies that looked suspiciously like tiny, fluffy monsters trying to escape into the corners. Dowdub, grumbling all the way, was put to work. "This honey pot is stuck," Dowdub complained, trying to pry a very stubborn, very sticky pot from the floor with a loud squelch. "A little elbow grease, Dowdub," Arnoub chirped, already polishing a cobweb from a high corner. The cleaning continued, slowly but surely. Dowdow sighed, but with Arnoub's cheerful encouragement and Mr. Hakim's calm advice, he kept going. "Think of it as a grand adventure, Dowdow. Every scrub a step towards wellness," Mr. Hakim advised from a safe distance, making sure no stray crumbs landed on his pristine feathers. Old crumbs were swept away, sticky spots vanished with a satisfying schlick, and the mountain of blankets was folded into a surprisingly neat pile. Dowdow even let out a surprised gasp when he found his favorite napping pillow, which had been buried under a week's worth of acorn shells. "There you are, my fluffy friend," he exclaimed, hugging it. After hours of scrubbing, sweeping, and sorting, Dowdow's cave was sparkling. Sunlight streamed in, reflecting off the newly cleaned surfaces, making the whole cave feel lighter and brighter. Dowdow, though tired, felt a strange lightness in his own body. "I can breathe," he exclaimed, taking a deep, clean breath, his chest feeling clear. "And my head doesn't feel like a beehive anymore." Dr. Fahim smiled, pleased with his patient's progress. "Excellent. A clean environment helps your body fight off germs, reduces stress, and simply makes you feel better. Remember, a healthy home leads to a healthy you," he explained. From that day on, Dowdow wasn't quite as messy. He still loved to eat, but he made sure to clean up after himself. Arnoub often visited, bringing fresh flowers, and Dowdow would proudly show off his tidy cave. Mr. Hakim would hoot with approval, and Dr. Fahim would nod. Pleased that his patient had learned such a valuable lesson, Dowdow learned that while a little mess might seem harmless, a clean and organized home was truly the best medicine for a happy and healthy life. And sometimes, the best jokes were the ones you shared while cleaning up a very, very sticky mess.